This is the Cinematics Podcast. This is me. I'm Casey.
Yeah, I'm Connor.
And we're going to be talking about Dune 2.
So happy to be talking about a movie that I'm actually super passionate about. Like, I actually really enjoyed this movie so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, did we say we were going to do the ratings at the beginning?
Yeah. So, we're going to do ratings now, and then we're going to do ratings at the end. And see how that flows.
I am a Denis Villeneuve dick rider, and it is going to be really hard for me not to say this movie was a 10 for me. But I will say it's a 9.5.
Okay, so you want to hear what I'm going to give it?
What?
I'm going to give it a 10.
You're going to give it a 10? Okay, I'll give it a 10.
I genuinely think this movie's a 10, 100%.
I just enjoy the hell out of it.
This is a masterpiece of a movie.
I mean, it's almost 3 hours long, and I've seen it already. I've seen it in the theaters once, and since it's come to HBO Max, not HBO Max. They get really offended about that. You know, you open the HBO Max app that everybody had, and they're like, no, it's just Max now.
I love the fact that they also changed the app. They didn't just leave it and change the name. They had to completely update and change the app completely.
I'd like to know the licensing or whatever reason they happened to change that.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of weird to me.
But anyway, yeah, I've seen the movie 3 times already, which is kind of wild considering it's a 2.5-hour movie. But I also did the same thing with the newest Batman movie. Was it Matt Reeves that made that one?
No, it's Peter. No, the guy from Twilight.
No, well, no, the director. I think it was Matt Reeves. No.
It's Matt Reeves.
It is. Yeah.
Brock got it.
Yeah.
Brock got it. Thank you, Brock.
Yeah. Could you pull it up?
Pull that up. Real quick. No.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. So Dune 2. Yeah. This is. I guess this one was going to end up being posted first. So this is the first movie we're going to be talking about in our desert movie special.
Yes. Yeah, this is our desert movies. We're going to talk about 3 desert movies.
Yeah.
It's going to be Dune. We already actually did the second podcast, which is going to be Mad Max Fury Road, and then we're going to talk about the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously a very sandy movie.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Dune now. 10 out of 10 movie. Thoughts?
Yeah. Everything about this movie I seem to excessively enjoy. Directing-wise, in particular. I think the thing that stands out to me about the movie the most, and a lot of other people, is the visual aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And in particular about that, what stuck out to me and what I enjoyed the most about the visual aspect was the scope of everything. I pointed this out when we were watching it. Every room that the building or that the movie is recorded in, when it's not just in like the sand dunes of Arrakis, they're massive rooms that you can barely even ever see the end of, which I think is so fantastic for making the movie, larger than life, which I think was the idea of it. It's such a, epic movie is like a great way to describe it. So, yeah, the visual aspect of making everything huge in that movie was so fantastically done, and it could not have been done before. We saw older Dune movie, the 80s version was there was a lot of reasons why that movie was terrible.
Terrible.
It's been called terrible, and even the director kind of denounces the film because a lot of changes were made to it from his original vision. But, they kept that movie at 2 hours. And the liberty that they took with making this Dune a 2-parter and making them each like 2.5 hours long, getting able to tell what's essentially like an 800-plus page book. Instead of just making it a 2-hour film, they made it, like a 5-hour epic. Really smart idea there.
It's even more insane too, right? It's a 5-hour thing of movie. It is still so fast paced. Like there's still constantly things. It's not like the first one is slow.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. The first one's very slow.
Yeah.
The second one though is, even with it being 3 hours long and like already the second part of the movie, it is still such a fast paced movie and so much happens with it, which I just think I don't know how they thought that the original could fit into 2 hours. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, the David Lynch one, it's actually insane. I mean, Paul gets to Arrakis in the next scene. He's, like, making love to Chani. It's, like, it's immediate. And he's already become, like, their, like, messiah figure immediately. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed about the movie was him winning over the people of Arrakis without even trying. It actually trying not to.
He was actively against it, but they just kind of like, they're so for the religion. And so they were like, I have so much faith in you that I'm going to.
The Bene Gesserit, thing that they do with these movies, the mystery of them pulling all the strings behind the scenes was so well orchestrated. Having, Lady Jessica kind of pull the strings for, her own reasons, making Paul this like larger than life figure to these people, was just so well done and believable, actually. Mm-hmm. Even though you don't see them do it, you know that this like prophecy was all kind of instilled in the Arrakis people by, the Bene Gesserit. And like, Javier Bardem's character, he was Stilgar, just constantly, Lisan al-Gaib, and I thought it was funny that some people actually thought that was like a
comedic character.
Yeah, like a comedic relief thing. It's like, it's sort of funny watching him constantly praise Paul, but I didn't think that it was a comedic thing at all. Mm-mm. I didn't think there was hardly any comedy in the movie at all.
Barely any jokes, if any jokes in that film. It was a very serious film.
Yeah. I think that's low-key the Marvel effect. Like, people were like looking for like, okay, this is a massive epic action film, just like all of the Marvel movies of old. Where's the jokes?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and if you look at like every single, like pretty much any movie you look at, I think without like a doubt, you will find a character that is the comedic relief.
Yeah.
It is very rare you don't have a comedic relief. So the fact that this movie, at least in my opinion, does not have a comedic relief, I would say that he's probably, if you were to like, he has to have a comedic relief. Mm-hmm. He'd probably be the comedic relief. Yeah. But I think that's honestly prescribing him. Like, I don't think he was supposed to be.
Yeah, if you were to look for a comedic relief, perhaps it would be Stilgar. But his religious extremism is...
it's just supposed to be like, he's very extreme in religion. And
yeah.
Like, he genuinely believes all of this. And he's trying to make other people believe it, too. He's kind of like a preacher.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of standout scenes. The first hour of the movie is him building his relationship with Chani, mm-hmm. I'd say. And it's like, that could feel kind of slow. And it is definitely, the first hour is definitely the slowest portion of the film.
But it's still so good, though.
Yeah.
Like, even like, let's just talk about this in sequential order. So
right.
Just starting out, right? They start out, it does a little backstory, but then it starts out with them hiding on the sand dune. Mm-hmm. And then what's their names? The bad guys?
The Harkonnens.
Harkonnens coming in those black suits that look so cool. It's like that 80s mm-hmm. retro space, like, so cool suits. Mm-hmm. They come in, and they all run away, and they're like, and then they put down the pounder, and it pounds in the ground, so the sandworm comes.
Yeah, so they're starting to fear one. Yeah.
Yeah, so then they fly up on top of the rock, and this scene is completely quiet.
Yeah.
There is no music at all.
Well, there's like a drum pounding.
Oh, is there a drum pounding?
Yeah, there's like a drum pounding as they're getting like shot and picked off one by one.
Oh yeah, and then they get shot in the head, and then then the drum starts pounding, but then it's like, oh my god, this is such a tense, like, cool scene.
Yeah, they literally started this movie as the first one ended. Like, mm-hmm. It picks up right where it left off at this, like, the eclipse of 2 moons on Arrakis, and mm-hmm. like the whole desert is just red and sandy. Kind of looks exactly like Mad Max Fury Road, which is funny. And they were shot in the same place.
Were they shot in the same place?
Yeah. For Arrakis, the most part, I forget the desert, but it's part of the sub-Saharan desert. They were shot in the same area. It's a great way to catch the audience's, eyes about what the movie's going to be about, because you get the sense that it's going to be not only a visual epic, but like like a mysterious, like brooding, just like really well-directed film. And also, it stuck out to me only on like the second and third viewings. Lady Jessica's introduction in the film of smashing in the Harkonnen's head with mm-hmm. the rock was just so brutal and describes her character for the rest of the movie so well.
Oh yeah, she's basically willing to do anything to both protect her son and become what she becomes, basically.
Yeah. They really didn't do very much showing. They did a lot of telling of what the Arrakis people were like mm-hmm. in part 1. Oh yeah,
100%.
And seeing it in action about how intense they are about, religion and things like that, it was a really awesome element of the film. Like the way that they accepted her as the Reverend Mother. That scene where she drinks
the blue blood,
the water of life, the worm piss, whatever.
Yeah, yes, that's what the worm piss.
Yeah, that's what
they called it. I think it was blood though, wasn't it?
It's worm blood.
It's worm blood. Okay.
Yeah, and it just like and it opening up Alia's eyes in her, like
the babies, like
oh
whenever
my
it
gosh.
closes in on the
Yeah.
fetus, I think that's the first thing you see in the movie. Is the fetus.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's one of, if not the first thing you see in the movie. They keep showing the fetus.
Yeah.
They really like fetuses.
yeah. Well, that's like all you get of Alia's character, except for the one
One scene where you see him
where
in the vision.
Paul is like dreaming. He's having his prophetic dreams, and you see Anya Taylor-Joy playing Alia, which she's going to play, probably a remarkably huge role in the next movie.
I would assume.
But yeah, that was a super intense scene. Her becoming the Reverend Mother, and then immediately, shit starts getting even more intense. It's so great. What stuck out to you about like the Arrakis people, other than like about the religion? Like I thought it was cool, like the dichotomy about like the South being like very religious, and then like the Fremen, like the warrior class, like the nomadic people, being so against it. Like I thought that was just such.
One of my favorite things, and I always find this so interesting, especially because it's a desert movie. I just love the water aspect. Like they just need water. They have all this water, but then with the religious aspect of they have this massive lake, but they refuse to drink anything out of it because it's from the people. It's religiously like if we literally would never drink this, even if we were gonna die, we would not drink it. I thought that was such a cool thing. Like it really shows like how faithful they are and how religious they are. Like some of the Southerners especially like are so religious.
I want to know where Siege Top was filmed. That's like the area with the massive lake of their dead people's water, because that is like the biggest building ever. It's like insane.
That was CGI.
It's got to be.
I would assume. Like there's no way that wasn't, because that was so long. Unless they made a specific set just for that, made a really long pool. Like I don't know, that seems pretty.
There's like no way.
I would assume that was probably CGI.
And then the CGI is so unnoticeable in the film. It makes you question like what is real right now. Like it's insane. So the things are like they have some very obvious CGI things, only in the sense that there's like no way that this can be real. I mean, maybe there's a model of an ornithopter out there, and maybe some of them were made with miniatures, but I kind of doubt it. The ornithopters looked so real.
The ornithopters looked amazing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Lego set of those?
I think that's so cool. I want one so bad.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and the sandworms as well. We talked about this when we watched it. I thought it was really cool how every time that they show like a big CGI elements of the movie, and I guess the entire movie in general, everything's kind of dirty. So they kind of muddy up the shots where they have these, scenes of like the massive sandworms. There's always like some sort of like sand cast over it, or a little voice crack there.
They do the CGI really well because like you said, it's never just like, because this is one issue I always have with whenever it's just straight CGI, is whenever it looks almost smooth, it looks too perfect. But in this movie, they had a lot of, like you said, sand covering it, or it's really like dark, or it's bright, or something like that. Like it's something to where it's a little bit harder to see it. So like, especially with the sandworms, there are these massive creatures, but they're almost always covered in sand. So you still get the scale of them, and it still looks badass whenever you see them, but it's like it also doesn't ruined by the fact that it's just like pure CGI. It doesn't look horrible. It also kind of adds a little bit of mystery to them, like how big are you never see the full size of them.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing too. Never really thought about that, honestly.
It's always like the mystique of how big they are. You never see the whole creature. You get to see the mouth of one of them whenever I think it eats the Harkonnens at some point.
Yeah, they like throw all the bodies over it and put the thumper down, and it just comes up and eats them. That was an awesome scene.
But yeah, very, very cool. Like I love the sandworms were even one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah.
Every fight scene, to be honest, was just amazing.
Yeah, the fight scenes in the movie are such a standout. Oh my gosh. I'll never forget how awesome it was seeing in theaters. By the way, best movie ever to see in theaters, in my opinion. Just the IMAX of it, the IMAX element, and how like it adds to the scope of the film for sure. But the scene where the spice harvester lands and all the Fedaykin, they're like the elite warriors, right? They're like all under the sand, and they've got their little like breathing tubes.
Oh my god, yes! And you have the little beetle crawling next to the breathing tube.
Oh, it was the Muad'Dib. It was a little sand mouse, which ended up being his name. Yeah, so cool. And then the way that they just like jump out of the sand and kill all the Harkonnens super fast. That's an awesome action scene.
And then the rocket scene where it's like they're hiding behind the legs, and then he runs to the other side, and then she shoots it, and it gets stuck in the shield, and then it's slowly going through, and he's basically just watching death because it's going to.
It's like a car crash in slow motion.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and then it just like pops through and blows it up. all the scenes that involve like those shields, so cool. The shields were done really well in that movie.
And it also, so one thing that I didn't know while we were watching the first time, but we looked it up afterwards because we were like, why don't they use the shields?
Oh, yeah.
It's because, okay, so apparently basically the whole thing is that if they use the shields on the planet, the worms are attracted to them. And so if the worms are attracted to them, then they come for them, and then they will do absolutely anything to kill that person with the shield. Like, stop at nothing. So it's really cool they added that because overuse of those shields could have been really bad.
Yeah. It's like, that's one of the reasons why nobody can survive on Arrakis, because with the exception of like the Fedaykin people, it seems like everybody else in this universe that we've seen so far really relies on these shields for combat. And I think what it is the shields create some sort of vibration. You can see it whenever they're in combat. You know, they kind of like vibrate and shake. And I think that's what attracts the worms is the vibration and like the miniature sounds.
Sense, especially with the thumpers or just even walking, you make vibrations in the sand and stuff like that. You
even have to like walk a certain way to not attract them.
Yeah.
And we also looked up, I mean, this was a Reddit thing that I found. I'm not sure how true this is because I've read maybe like the first 200 pages of the Dune novel. And so I haven't really gotten to where it would explain this because they've like barely gotten to Arrakis. But I think what somebody said was on Reddit that shooting a laser gun at a shield will create like a subnuclear explosion, like a massive explosion. Or
wasn't it like a 50% chance, right? Yeah. It was like a half. There was like possibly it's just going to deflect and hit you right back.
Yeah.
Or you're going to hit them and it's going to cause a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
So pretty much no matter what, if they have a shield on and you shoot them, that's bad.
Just too much of a gamble.
That's why they use swords and stuff like that. Which again, very cool reason to use swords because I feel like a lot of sci-fi, even though they have these guns, I feel like a lot of times they don't use guns. They just bare fist or sword or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see a reason, like an actual valid, like that makes sense of why they don't use guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like every sci-fi film, they just insist on using swords because it looks awesome.
Or same thing with books too. Sci-fi books, a lot of times it's like, why are you close quarters? You have a literal like laser rifle. This doesn't make any sense.
They may have explained that in the first film, but I do not remember that.
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive. They didn't explain... To be honest with you, the amount of exposition in the first one... Like, I wouldn't say the first one was probably a 10 out of 10 movie. I think that one was probably more of like... I would even say like an 8.
Yeah, or like a 7,
I think it was
8, yeah.
really slow. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a good-ass movie, but it was so slow and very exposition heavy.
Yeah, but I think that this being like a 2-part film, I think that this is like a perfect 2-parter.
Oh, 100%.
You know, like it goes up there with like Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. Like,
I agree.
Comparing it to those, it's a pretty perfect 2-parter.
I think it absolutely needed to be a 2-parter too.
It definitely
I think they needed to get rid or out of the way all of the stuff they needed to explain. Because I also think the Dune world, I've never read the books, but it seems like at least the Dune world is very, very confusing universe. So they needed to have a movie that was a little bit slower and explained a little bit more so that they could have a second movie that was a little bit faster and they could just keep doing things. They didn't need to do exposition dumps, stuff like that. Like they didn't really, not that I can think of at least, they didn't really have any exposition dumps.
Not too much, no. I mean,
like don't get me wrong, they did exposition, but it was never felt like it was just 10 minutes of just exposition. Like it was never too much.
It's like the Fremen people would just be in their daily talk, and you would gather really well from the screenplay what they were talking about and how that related to Paul and Jessica. But like the elements of this being a 2-part film and like getting all of the things that it builds up the emotional intensity of all the scenes that happen in part 2 because part 2 is definitely like the meat of the story.
Oh, 100%.
And then part 1 is all set up. But I also want to touch on, I think it was unintentional for sure, but having the first part be released during COVID was to the benefit of...
100%.
Because it was definitely to the benefit of part 2. Because, part 1 comes straight to Max, and it's a success, but it's not like a massive, monetary gain for the studio that, released the movie. And so Dune Part 2 is a little bit in muddy waters as to if they were going to make it or not. We were really lucky to get Dune 2. But people were going to watch it because everybody watched Dune Part 1 if they wanted to see a movie during COVID because there were no movies out.
Thing out.
Yeah. So then they're kind of on the edge of their seat of like, how is this revenge plot going to play out in Dune Part 2? I
think they probably gained a lot of viewers because they were lucky enough to get it during COVID.
Yeah.
And they didn't have it come out in the movies either. It was since it was an HBO thing only. I actually think that even increased it even more.
Yeah.
Like, I think if it would have come out in movies, I think people would have been like, well, I want to go see it at the movies, and then they just never did, or the movies would have been closed or something like that. Like, 100% the fact that it only came out in HBO, came out during COVID, it definitely boosted Dune too, I think, a lot.
For sure.
But I want to talk about the second part, like second half of the movie, because that's where the movie really starts getting going.
Yeah.
Like with the fight scenes and all of the, like you said, like with the Harvester, them, basically them just going to war against the Harkonnens.
Yeah.
Is there any big fight scenes that stand out other than the final fight scene?
Well, obviously the final fight scene is insane, but
of course.
There's a few scenes that stand out that build up the Harkonnens.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of been said before that the Harkonnens are not like the strongest thing in this universe, and far from it. The scene where Raban, who's the Dave Bautista, like war leader of the Harkonnens, when he lands on the planet and is going to he's been told by the Baron, like, okay, we need to get this damn spice production under control because this Muad'Dib guy is like
getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's taking out all too much stuff.
Yeah, so then they get there, and as soon as they land, like the scene, like you're thinking it's gonna be like a massive battle scene. Everything's super quiet. Everybody's just like getting picked off one by one, and the first person you see come through wearing like a cloak is Paul. He's like walking straight towards the Raban, and he just runs back to the ship.
He books it. He's like, I cannot kill this guy.
Such an awesome scene.
So cool.
Yeah.
That entire scene is done so well with the fact that they blow everything up, but then that's actually even worse for them because now there's all of this smoke and everything like that. So then they're just killing people one by one, and then he knows he's fucked. He's just like, I can't do anything. I just gotta go.
They exemplify the whole desert power thing that they talk about so much in the first movie and the book so well. By they have they're not the Harkonnens, the Fremen use every element of them being on a sandy planet to their benefit. Like the sand that will kind of stir up from ships landing will give them the advantage to take people out in secret, and they do that a lot in the movie. They
do. They use the sand, and that's again, like you said, that's really cool. Is that they're natives of the planet, so they know so well how to just beat everyone. Like they've been there for so long, they know all the techniques to beat everybody. They use the sand to their advantage, no matter what. Like it's the techniques that they use, and like them coming up out of the sand and using the sand smoke and stuff like that. Like it's just such a cool movie. I mean, it's such a cool techniques that they have and stuff like that.
It's impossible to do a podcast without talking about the Fade Rotha introduction scene as well.
Oh yes, the black and white. Oh my god, it's such a cool scene.
I know. That was like the scene that everybody was running and talking about. I mean, like Austin Butler disappeared. It was just all just like a psychotic murderer, bleach white, heir to the throne guy. I mean, he was
so cool.
I'm really a big fan of what Austin Butler's been doing in his movies. Austin Butler's great.
I think this is the only movie I've seen him in so far.
You didn't see Elvis?
No, never saw Elvis. But in saying that, they start this off so cool with him giving a sword. The person that the weapons master comes in and he's terrified out of his mind. He's giving him the sword and he's terrified.
Yeah.
Then immediately he's like, he licks the blade, like you can clearly he's insane. And then he just kills two of the people and go, it's just not sharp enough.
The two random women in there.
Yeah, just two random women just dead. It really shows you how psychotic this character is.
Yeah, he's got so little screen time in the movie. It's under 15 minutes, but everybody's so terrified of him every time he's on the screen.
He's so impactful. Every single time he shows up, he's an impactful character.
Yeah, definitely.
He does such a fantastic job. And then he goes out there and he fights the two people that are drugged, but then he has to fight someone that's not drugged, and he's still he nearly dies actually, but he does come back.
Yeah. I like to think of it as he was toying with the guy.
I mean, I can see it. It almost looks like to be the only reason he won is those what
the picadors.
The which ones?
They're called the picadors.
The picadors.
They're named after these people in the Mexican rodeos that would come out and.
Rock, can you pull this up?
No.
Okay. So those guys are really cool. But then they come in and they stab the guy. Yeah. To me, that always felt like that's actually kind of what gave him the win. Is that they stabbed him while he was kind of on the upper, and then he lost afterwards.
That's true. Yeah.
It kind of shows that there really aren't good fighters.
They're really not.
Even against someone that's probably malnourished.
Yeah.
And hasn't like has all these probably muscle deficiencies and everything,
Yeah.
like been captured for such a long time, still nearly wins against this guy.
Yeah, and Fate is there like badass. You know, it's like that really says something.
But
then,
in saying that, he's still a very badass character that is so cool.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's just a cool, like that whole scene, the fact that the sun is black
Oh
and
my
it just
gosh,
makes
yeah.
everything black and white. Like that's such a cool idea.
that stadium was huge too.
Mhm.
Like, oh
Like,
my gosh,
I think they filmed that on a real, like just big ass.
they had to have.
I'm almost positive. Like I don't think that would have been CGI. I'm pretty sure.
It had to have been.
But yeah, and then after that, so then he goes to the planet and he takes over. And the first thing he does when he gets there, first of all, he's just bombing all of the what are the sites? The
Yeah,
religious
the Sieges. He
Sieges.
blew up Siege Top, the
He's-
one with all the water. And that scene actually kind of made my heart drop. I was like, damn,
Oh, yeah.
it makes you really care about like, the whole water aspect. They talk about it so little.
In the second movie, they don't bring it up. They feel like in the
Yeah.
first movie, they bring it up a lot. The second movie, they don't bring it up as much. Still interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then he comes in. The first thing he does, he blows up all of the Sieges,
Mm-hmm.
and then he makes his brother or cousin? Or nephew?
The Raban, I think he would be his, what he would, I don't know, maybe it's his cousin.
It
I
doesn't
really don't know
matter.
if they're related.
Family member. I'm pretty sure they're related.
No, they are. Yeah, you're
They're
right.
definitely
You're right.
related. I just don't know how they're related.
Yeah.
Their family member, basically, he makes him immediately kiss his boot because
Yeah.
he's like, you're shit. Okay,
Yeah.
just kiss my boot. I'm in charge now.
I mean, actually, like he got there and just used like he just shot missiles at the siege,
Mm-hmm.
and the Baron was like, oh, he's a genius. Like,
Yeah.
why the hell weren't they doing
Why
that
weren't
before?
we doing this?
I think maybe the explanation for that might be that they didn't really know where it was.
Yeah, and it seems like to me that like I don't know why he wouldn't have done that before.
Exactly.
So it definitely seems like maybe they got information and they maybe just didn't even give it to I'm gonna call him Dave Bautista because I don't know his name in the movie. But they didn't give it to him, and then they brought him in. They were like, "Oh, by the way, they're just like right here. You could pretty much just shoot them now, and you'd be fine."
Yeah.
But then they go down to the south, and they're all riding. Oh, the whenever Paul gets his sandworm, that's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Riding through the sand dune and everything like that, like, oh,
That scene was so real, like insanely real. Like, you know, in maybe a typical action film, he would just like jump onto it from like a far shot, but you're following him directly, falling like hundreds of feet on top of this like massive sandworm that's totally destroyed this dune. It was also awesome that he was, you know, he's standing on top, like right on the thumper, and it kind of goes to the right of it or to the left of it from the sandworm's perspective. So he has to run and jump on top of it.
yeah.
Gosh, because for a while you think it's coming straight towards him. I thought that was cool.
It was cool. No, it was
Yeah.
100%. It was a cool scene. And then, like, just him going through the thing, and then he's about to fall off, and then he's got to run back
Yeah.
onto it, and, like, he grapples onto it. I don't fully understand how riding a sandworm would actually work.
Right, because wouldn't they just like dive back under? And
Yeah, and I would assume
Oh,
that
no.
that's what the whole, like, grabbing the thing and then pulling it back up.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that those things sense sand, so if it feels like sand's getting into it, it goes back up so sand isn't getting into it. That would be the only thing I can
Maybe.
get because it doesn't actually really make sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
But we're not here to think. We're here to talk.
That's true. We don't do a lot of thinking around here.
No.
Paul's transformation that happens, you know, shortly after he rides the sandworm. Like, I haven't seen a lot of Chalamet movies. I haven't seen him in a lot of movies, but Timothée Chalamet totally transformed, and I totally believed it. Like, it was like he became so like just became such an emperor so quick.
Oh yeah, like he felt so almost like he didn't want to do it. He definitely got shoved into it, like he had to do it because of destiny and all this
Yeah.
stuff. But it like especially from when he drank the blue milk. I'm gonna call it blue milk. I know
Right.
it's not, but I'm calling it that. The blue milk, and go into when he like goes into the
South.
place with all of the South and all the people and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like that transformation. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was
he really
amazing.
does do a good job of just like such a force to be reckoned with.
And the movie went from very warm tones to very cool tones.
Yeah.
Right as soon as he drank it, everything kind of became grayscaled, which I thought was really awesome. Shows like his shift in mindset. The scene where he's walking through the South as there's all these like explosions from sandworms going off, and like you get this upward shot of him like surfing through all of the people of the South, and he looks like just like a pebble surfing through other sand pebbles.
Yeah.
Making his way up into the, you know, I don't know what that building, what they called it, but when he gives that massive speech, starts
Mm-hmm.
telling people all of their pasts and futures, and they're like, okay, yeah, we literally have no choice but to follow this guy. Because I guess when he drinks the worm piss, he gets further foresight and sees that if he doesn't take over and lead the people to, like,
it becomes even worse.
It becomes even worse.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
They need a good leader.
Yeah, and then immediately after that, it's sends a message to the emperor of the entire damn universe, which is kind of crazy that there is one, and it's
Imagine being that guy.
it's what's his name, the actor.
Chris? No, not Christopher. I know who he is. He's such an iconic voice.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Because the dog goes. No, that's not how his voice goes.
No. I know. Yeah, a lot of people.
Everyone knows who we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you've seen Dune 2, you know who we're talking about.
Name is blanking. It'll probably
Yeah.
come back to me, but
a lot of people didn't like that. Apparently, he did such a good job. He
Yeah.
works so well as an emperor, like just being this like menacing figure that's like so powerful and everything like that. Like so cool.
he's got that kingly voice to him.
Oh yeah.
He goes in there. Paul goes in there. Immediately kills who he now knows as his uncle, the Baron. Kills him, or no, grandfather kills him. They just start killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the interesting thing is that the movie kind of ends on not like a little bit of a cliffhanger, but you get the sense that his story is already done. But it's kind of far from it, from what I know about what happens in the books.
The books he explained to me a little bit of what happens in the books. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it gets pretty insane. I mean, like the great houses are coming now and all of that. The final battle with Fade was amazing too. Cutting the music.
Mm-hmm. They cut the music completely. It's just them fighting, and it's almost a loss. I know, at least whenever I was watching the first time, I honestly I was like, are they actually? I could have seen them killing him. 100%.
I did too. I was like, this seems like a little bit too power trippy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could happen.
Like he's getting too strong. I could see them bringing him down, and either him almost dying and then him having almost to restart, or him dying and just a new person coming in.
And really, you don't see a lot of Paul fighting somebody that would be on his level of strength.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, he's just basically destroying.
Yeah, just destroying Harkonnens. Yeah, I mean, the Fade death happens, and there's like that whole shock with Chani. The first time I watched this movie, he takes Princess Irulan as his, his wife to rule like the whole universe, which was it was forecasted at the beginning of the movie. It was foreshadowed big time. But and apparently, and in my theater even, a lot of people were gasping when he, chose Princess Irulan anyway. Mm-hmm. Because like the love scenes were very real with Chani. When I first watched the movie, I mentioned this to you when we watched it, I didn't really buy Zendaya's character all that much, but I did the second and third time.
See, I don't think I still find Zendaya's character kind of annoying because
Yeah.
she it's not that I don't understand her reasonings. Like
for
I
sure.
understand her reasoning. She's from the north. She doesn't believe in all that religious stuff like that.
Yeah.
But man, is it annoying that you literally haven't supported him at all? Mm-hmm. And he's clearly he's clearly doing this for just a strategic alliance. He's told you this, and you're just not listening. You just don't care.
Other people had problems with that because it's not really like that in the book. But I also respect the director's vision to make it more about the Messiah story and changing Chani's character to fit his vision of what he wants to tell of this like corrupt leader makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
If she was just like, I'm never going to leave your side even when you choose Princess Irulan, it would take away a lot of the emotional depth with Chani's character.
That's true, and it probably will add more, and it will add more tension, obviously, to where she's going to feel betrayed and all of this stuff like that. But I don't know. She kind of got on my nerves a couple times where she was just like constantly complaining about literally anything he did.
Yeah, it's like you see Paul's character and you know that he cannot change his outcome.
It's like he will even tell her like, "Hey, I don't want to do this," and it's like
she's like, "I don't buy it."
She's like, "I don't care."
She's like, voice of the outside world. Yeah, you just want to take over and control us all.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that dynamic plays out in the next movie, because we've seen the damage be done. We don't really know what the stakes are going to be in the next movie with how their relationship's going to be.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
If we want to give our scores really quick, and then we'll end it.
Still a 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a 10. I just wanted to,
Yeah.
just re-go over it. That was a masterpiece movie.
Maybe an
and
11.
Every single person should watch it. 100%.
It should be watched, yeah.
Like,
But you
even
have to
if you don't
watch the
watch
first
the
one,
first.
too. You have to watch the first one. 'Cause
I don't think you do.
Well, there's scenes that, like, that don't make as much sense without watching the first one.
Fair. I still think it's probably worth it to just even, if you don't want to sit through a 3 hour, the first one, I think
That's
it's
fair.
worth it. But yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You be good. Bye-bye.
Until next time.